Lucille Ball was walking toward stage 12 at Desilu Studios when she noticed the young woman standing outside the guard gate, and what she chose to do about it in the next 40 minutes is a story that begins with a Thursday morning in March 1966 and ends with a career that changed television history. The woman had been standing there since 8:30. It was now 9:47, and nobody at the studio had noticed her except the guard, who had been told by someone at the main gate to leave her there, and Mitchell, who had been working the eastern gate for 9 years and had learned that his job was to check credentials and wave people through, not to ask questions about the young black woman in the navy skirt who had been standing 6 feet from his booth for 77 minutes without complaint. Ball stopped walking. She stood 20 feet from the gate and watched the woman who was holding a portfolio case under one arm and had the posture of someone who had been told to wait and was waiting with the discipline that comes from not knowing what else to do. The woman was dressed carefully, the kind of careful that people use when they are going somewhere that matters, and Ball recognized that care because she had used it herself 30 years earlier when she was 22 and standing in different lines waiting for different gates to open. Ball walked to the gate. Mitchell straightened when he saw her, the automatic response that people have when Lucille Ball is walking toward them, even people who see her every day. Ball walked past his booth without looking at him and stopped 3 feet from where the young woman was standing. How long have you been here?" Ball asked. "Since 8:30, the woman said. Ball looked at her watch. It was 9:47. "Who told you to wait out here?" Ball asked. "A man at the main gate," the woman said. "He said someone would come get me." Ball's expression did not change, but something in the set of her shoulders shifted in the way that people shift when they have just confirmed something they suspected and are not pleased about the confirmation. "What's your name?" Ball asked. "Claudia Harper," the woman said. Ball extended her hand. "Lucille Ball," she said. "I know who you are," Claudia said. Ball almost smiled. "Come with me," she said. She turned and walked through the gate onto the studio lot. Claudia followed her, half a step behind, right in the position that people walk in when they are not certain they have permission to be where they are. They walked in silence past the carpentry shop, past stage 9 where hammering echoed from inside, past the equipment trucks parked along the service road. Ball did not make conversation. She was thinking, and when Ball was thinking, silence was what happened until the thinking was finished. They reached stage 12. Ball opened the door and held it. Claudia walked into the dark stage where the living room set from the Lucy show sat under work lights, smaller and more temporary than it appeared on television. "Sit down," Ball said, gesturing to the armchair near the fake fireplace. Claudia sat. Ball remained standing with her arms crossed, not defensively, but in the thoughtful way of someone working something out. "How long have you been trying to get auditions?" Ball asked. 6 months, Claudia said. "How many have you gotten?" 3, Claudia said. "And how many callbacks?" "None." Ball nodded once, the nod of someone receiving information that confirms what they already suspected. "Where did you train?" Ball asked. "Pasadena Playhouse," Claudia said. 2 years. I graduated last spring." Ball's expression shifted slightly. The Playhouse was legitimate, one of the few programs Ball respected, and this information changed the shape of the problem she was solving. "What did you study?" Ball asked. "Acting," Claudia said, "and some directing." Ball looked at her for a long moment. "Directing," she said. "Why?" "Because when you're directing, you get to see the whole thing," Claudia said. "When you're acting, you only see your part." Ball walked to the other chair and sat down. This was unusual. Ball did not sit down on working stages with people she had met 10 minutes ago at guard gates, but she sat now, and the sitting was a decision being made, the decision to stay in this conversation. "Why are you trying to get acting auditions if you like directing better?" Ball asked. "Because nobody hires black women to direct," Claudia said. She said it without bitterness, as fact. Ball did not dispute it. She knew it was true. "Do you want to direct or do you want to act?" Ball asked. "I want to work," Claudia said. "I don't care which one. I just want to be in the room." Ball understood this. She had said the same thing in 1933 when she was standing in different lines, and the want Claudia was describing was the want Ball had carried for 5 years before anyone gave her a reason to believe it would be answered. "Can you start Monday?" Ball asked. Claudia looked at her with the expression of someone who has just been asked a question that does not make sense. "Start what?" Claudia asked. "Working," Ball said. "Here. Script supervising. You'll sit behind the camera during rehearsals. You'll make notes on continuity and timing. You'll watch how scenes are built. And when you've watched long enough to understand what you're watching, we'll talk about what comes next." Ball told her what it paid. It was not a large number, the lowest on the production budget, but it came with a weekly paycheck and a parking pass and a place in the room, which was what Claudia had said she wanted. "Okay," Claudia said. Ball looked at her for a moment, evaluating. "You're going to work harder than you've ever worked," Ball said. 12-hour days, notes until your hand cramps. Questions you don't know the answer to, and you'll find the answer in 3 minutes or less. And if you make a mistake that costs us time or money, I'm going to tell you about it in front of everyone. Do you understand?" "I understand," Claudia said. Ball studied her face. "This is not a favor," Ball said. "This is a job, and if you're not good at it, you won't have it for very long." "I understand," Claudia said. "Good," Ball said. "Be here Monday at 6. Ask for Phil Reardon. Tell him I hired you." She stood and walked toward the door. Claudia stood and watched her. Ball stopped at the door and looked back. "One more thing," Ball said. "What happened this morning? The man at the main gate who told you to wait for an audition that didn't exist, that's going to happen again. Not here, but in this town and other places. And when it happens, you need to decide whether you're going to stand outside and wait, or whether you're going to find a different gate. Sometimes waiting is the right thing, because there's no other option. But sometimes waiting is just what they tell you to do to see if you'll do it. And you need to know the difference." "How do I know the difference?" Claudia asked. "You ask yourself if the person who told you to wait has any reason to let you in," Ball said. "And if the answer is no, you stop waiting and you find someone who does." She walked out. Claudia stood alone on the set for a moment, then she followed her into the bright March morning. Claudia Harper worked on The Lucy Show for 8 weeks as a script supervisor. She arrived every morning at 5:50 and left after 6, and she filled 4 notebooks with notes on blocking and camera positions and continuity. She made mistakes. She missed a line change in week 2. She marked the wrong take in week 3. She learned from the mistakes. This was noticed. On a Ball set, everything was noticed, and people who learned from mistakes were people who lasted. In week 5, Ball told her assistant Gloria to ask Claudia if she was still interested in directing. When Claudia said yes, Ball told Gloria to have Claudia shadow her for the next episode Ball was directing. "You'll sit in on prep meetings," Gloria said. "You'll watch her work with writers. You'll be on set for all rehearsals, and at the end, you'll tell her what you learned. This is in addition to your other work. You won't be paid extra. Are you willing?" "Yes," Claudia said. Claudia shadowed Ball for 1 week. She watched Ball rewrite scenes, work with actors, demonstrate physical comedy, make decisions about camera positions and lighting and timing. She took notes on everything. On Friday, Gloria called her to stage 12. Ball was sitting on the set reading a script. "Sit down," Ball said. "Tell me what you learned." Claudia had prepared for this. She talked about how Ball structured scenes to build to the biggest laugh, how Ball used physical space to create comedy, how Ball directed actors differently depending on their experience. She talked for 6 minutes. Ball listened without interrupting. "That's good," Ball said when she finished. "Now tell me what I did wrong." This was the actual test. Claudia thought about the week, and about the places where Ball had made decisions and been challenged and held firm or adjusted. "You let Mark do the door entrance his way on Tuesday," Claudia said, after you told him how you wanted it. "Your way was funnier. His way was safe, and safe isn't what that scene needed." "Why didn't I hold firm?" Ball asked. "Because he's been on the show 3 seasons, Claudia said, "and if you overrule him on something small, it makes it harder when you need to overrule him on something big later." Ball almost smiled. "That's right," she said. "Directing isn't just knowing what's funny. It's knowing when to fight." "You're going to keep shadowing me," Ball said. "Every episode I direct, and next season, if you're still here, you're going to direct a scene." Claudia Harper worked on The Lucy Show for 2 more seasons. In the second season, Ball gave her a scene to direct. 2 actors, 4 pages. Claudia directed it. It was good. Ball told her so in front of the crew. In 1968, Ball hired her to direct a full episode. Claudia was 24. She was the first black woman to direct a primetime television episode. The press did not cover it because directors were not news unless they were famous. And Claudia was not famous. She was a woman doing a job she had been trained to do. The episode aired in October 1968. The ratings were good. Ball called the next morning and told her the network approved her for 2 more episodes. Claudia directed those, then 4 the next season, then 6. By 1972, she was a regular director, and she built a career that lasted 33 years and included hundreds of episodes and 3 Emmy nominations and training 15 younger directors, and 8 of them women, 4 of them black. She was asked many times how she got her start. The answer she gave in 2001 for the Television Academy Oral History was the one she told rarely, and it started with standing outside a guard gate at Desilu for over an hour waiting for an audition that did not exist. And then Lucille Ball walked past, Claudia said in the interview, and she stopped, and she turned around, and she came back. That was the moment everything changed. Why did she come back? The interviewer asked. I don't know, Claudia said. She never told me. We worked together 6 years and she never mentioned that morning unless I brought it up. When I did, she'd say something like, "You were in the wrong place and I put you in the right place," like it was that simple. She paused. Maybe for her it was. Did she ever explain why she hired you? The interviewer asked. She didn't hire me because she felt sorry for me, Claudia said. She hired me because I was good at the job. That's what people don't understand about Lucille Ball. She was kind, but that's not why she did what she did. She did it because she needed competent people, and she didn't care what you looked like if you could do the job. I was good at the job, Claudia said. That's why I lasted. But I only got the chance because she stopped at that gate and asked how long I'd been standing there. She didn't tell me the system was unfair. She just took me inside and gave me something to do. That's what I've tried to do for everyone I've trained since. Don't tell them the system is broken. Give them something to do. Lucille Ball died in 1989. Claudia attended the funeral, and she sat in the back and did not speak to press. She thought about the Thursday morning in 1966, about the moment Ball stopped at the guard gate and made a decision that changed everything. She thought about it for the rest of her life. When she retired in 2001, after directing over 200 episodes, she had trained 15 directors, all of them people who had been standing at their own version of a guard gate when she stopped and asked how long they had been waiting. She gave a speech at a Women in Television event in 2003. At the end, she told the story about the March morning in 1966. I've spent 37 years trying to be the person who stops at the guard gate, she said. I've spent 37 years seeing people who are waiting and asking if they should still be standing there or if they should be inside doing the work. That's what Lucille Ball did for me. She saw me when I was invisible. Then she made me visible by giving me something to do. She paused. That's not kindness, she said. That's strategy. And it's the best strategy I know for changing a system designed to keep people out. You don't change it by arguing. You change it by putting people inside who weren't supposed to be there and letting them prove they belong. The audience gave her a standing ovation. Claudia Harper died in 2019 at 75. Her obituary mentioned she was one of the first black women to direct primetime television. It did not mention the Thursday in March 1966. That story was not in public records, but it lived in the memory of every person she trained, and in the memory of everyone they trained, passed along as quiet knowledge about how change actually happens. Your change happens when someone stops, one of her former assistants said in 2020. Change happens when someone sees you standing outside and decides you shouldn't be standing there anymore. It's not dramatic. It's a decision you make in 10 seconds when you're walking past someone who's been waiting too long. You stop and you turn around and you ask how long they've been standing there, and then you take them inside.